Hey, what is it guys, Jared here. Today we are going to be making Don't Tap the White Tiles with Swift in Xcode. Now this first part is just basically focusing on the main elements on our display, and we're going to be setting those up on our view controller, and then we will name them. So that's basically all we're doing in this tutorial, and we'll be setting up some functions. Later on in this tutorial series, be sure to subscribe to be notified when this tutorial series is better, and also check in the link description down below to make sure that there is not a part 2 already out. I will add a link in the description down below, linking that to part 2 when it is out. But part 2 will be focusing on the more advanced programming and stuff like that. But for now, this is part 1, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, let's go ahead and open up Xcode 6. Let's create a new Xcode project, and here we're going to make it a single view application. Click Next, and our product name, I'm just going to call this White Tiles. Our language will be set to Swift, and our devices will be set to iPhone. Now click Next and Create. Alright, now let's go ahead and make this a bit bigger for you guys and go over to our main.storyboard. And I'm sorry if I sound a bit drowsy, it is 11:51 p.m. at night, so yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and change the size of our view controller. So go ahead and click this the top white bar right here, so it's highlighted in blue, and go to our attributes inspector, and right underneath here you will see size, and we want to change this size to an iPhone 4-inch. Now basically what this is going to do, it's going to give you the proper dimension that we will need in order to make this game playable. So you can do an iPhone 4.7-inch, but the dimensions are going to be a bit off. Whereas with the iPhone 4-inch, you have the dimensions of the button properly done. So because we are working with buttons, you won't really have to worry about scaling until you use images. So once you start using images, just be sure that you properly implement your images in your app so that you don't have any pixelation going on when it upgrades to a 4.7 or a 5.5-inch iPhone. But because we're using buttons, we don't really need to worry about that, so let's carry on. Alright, go ahead and click the main view right here, so just click the center right here, and it should highlight it in a darker gray. And we want to change the background to a dark gray color. So that's underneath Attributes Inspector, and we go to our background and just change it to our dark gray color. Now you'll see why I'm doing this, just so we can separate the button from the background. So now let's go ahead and add a button onto our scene. So go ahead, click and drag a button onto our scene. And now I'm going to change the size of the button. So go ahead, and first thing we actually need to do is change the color of the button and also erase this text. So go over here into your Attributes Inspector, and right down here you should see right underneath Title, Button. So go ahead and delete where it says Button, and then go down here and change the background to white. Alright, now let's go ahead and go over to our Attributes Inspector right here, and we want to change the width and the height in the button. So go ahead, and first thing we actually want to do is highlight this top part blue, and we want to go over to our size inspector. We want to click this white top bar right here so it highlights in blue, our view controller, and we want to change this. We just want to see what size this is. So go ahead and go over to your size inspector and go to freeform, and it'll give you our exact width and height of our view controller. So now let's go ahead and find out the proper dimensions of our rectangle. Now our rectangle should be 1/4 of the size that it takes to fill this whole thing. So it needs to be 1/4 of this size, 1/4 of the width of this view controller, and then 1/4 of the height of this view controller. So let's go ahead and change this button's dimensions so that it fits those rules. So as you can see, when you highlight this blue and go to Size Inspector again, our width is 320, so you can probably just do this in your head. 320, divide that by half is 160. Divide that by half, that's 80. So that is going to be our width for our rectangle right here. And now we want to change our width for our height, so let's go ahead and see what our height was here, and it is 568. Now you might be able to do this in your head, but I'm going to use a calculator. So 568 divided by 4 equals 142. So that will be our height. So go down here, and we want to change our height to 142. So select our white button that we have right here, and go to your size inspector and change the height to 142. Alright, now let's go ahead and now we want to make 5 rows of buttons. So we just want to copy and paste all of these buttons until it fills the row, and then we want to fill the column up here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to speed through and then come back to you guys in a minute. Alright, now that we have this row done, let's just go ahead and select all of our buttons, and you can just copy and paste, or by doing Command C, Command V, and just copy and paste those buttons onto the row above. So keep doing that until you have this all filled. And now we're at sort of a tricky part, because we want 5 rows, but we don't want this row to be off of our scene right now. We're just going to make it just a little bit halfway in between our 3rd row and our 5th row that's going to be up at the top. So now let's go ahead and just continue on and just make sure that this is that all the rows are visible in this one scene. All right, so go ahead and copy and paste that like so. All right, now that we have all our rows done, go ahead and delete one of our white tiles for each of the rows. So I'm just going to make this a complete straight line like so. All right, now we want to copy and paste a white tile, just a random white tile, and go to our attributes inspector, and we want to change our background to a black color. All right, now this is the black tile that we are going to click to make all the white tiles and black tiles move down and generate a random path. All right, so that's just what we're doing right here. So copy and paste the black tile so that it fills those sections that we just deleted those white tiles from. So go ahead and fill in all of those white tiles that we just deleted, and there you have it. All right, now we have 5 black buttons, and we have 15 white tiles. All right, now let's go ahead and start naming all of these. So go ahead and click on this up here, and this is the assistant editor. It's a little confusing to me that it's 2 circles, but hey, it's what they wanted to do. All right, now let's go ahead and control click and drag, or right click and drag from one of our buttons over to our view controller .swift file over here. And if that didn't pop, and if your view controller.swift file didn't pop up automatically, just go over here and you can change it either manually, or it'll give you an automatic view controller.swift file. All right, now let's go ahead and continue on. So right click or control click and drag from our button here, and just insert an outlet. And we're just going to name this white tile 1. And we're just going to go in this sort of fashion where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, until we're done. So let's go ahead and continue on. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing's changed at all? And if you close your eyes... Alright, now we have all of our white tiles done, so we should have 15 white tiles in total, and make sure that you don't have any duplicates in all of your tiles, and that you have all of the ones that you need. Alright, now let's go ahead and name these black tiles. So we'll do this in a similar fashion as we did the white tiles. So just go ahead and control click and drag from a black tile. Control click and drag, or right button click and drag from our black tile, and we're just going to call this black tile 1. And I will come back as soon as I have all of these done. Alright, now that we have all of the black tiles named, let's go ahead down here, and we just want to create a function. Now we're just setting things up pretty much for the next tutorial, as we will be, this is a series of tutorials that I'm going to be doing. So for this first part, I'm going to be basically setting up everything for our next tutorial. So we just set up all our white tiles and our black tiles, and now we want to set up a function that will later be called when our black tile is pressed. So go ahead and say func move down open parentheses, close parentheses, open curly bracket, enter, close curly bracket. And this will be our move all tiles down function, pretty much. All right, now our other function will be a function right down here, and this will be, say, func end game, open parentheses, close parentheses, open curly bracket, enter, close curly bracket, and this will be a end the game function. And encompassed inside of this move down function, we will also have score keeping. Alright, so in our next tutorial, we'll be doing all of this. Right now, we were just setting everything up, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Anyway guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button down below. If you guys want to see more tutorials like this in the future from me, be sure to subscribe. If you guys want to know more about me, be sure to check me out on Twitter, and also check me out my website down in the description down below. Anyway guys, that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.